What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. All right, so Sam Cassell know what the real is. Sam Cassell recently spoke on Mark Jackson's podcast about the GOAT debate. Cassell noted that he believes only Michael Jordan and LeBron James belongs in the debate, which I don't think is true because you still got Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. In my opinion, you got Will Chamberlain. I think Kobe Bryant deserves consideration in that debate. No, I don't agree with that at all. But anyway, for him, Michael Jordan is the best ever, while he showed respect to both legends of the game. He said, quote, "In my opinion, it's between LeBron and MJ. I played against both. It ain't hard for me at all. It's Michael Jordan in my aspect, but that's no knock on LeBron. I don't think we'll ever see a Michael Jordan caliber ball player ever. I don't think we're ever going to see another LeBron James either. But what I'm saying is, the hardest thing in our league is to do is score. And the thing I tell our young guys around here, how Jordan scored, he scored so easily at times. That's what separated him, in my opinion, more than anybody in our league. He didn't exercise a lot of dribbles. He didn't. Yeah, you know, I mean, look, man. If you're going by how easily players scored, if that's one of your criteria, then how the hell don't you have Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in that conversation? How you don't have Will Chamberlain in that conversation? If it's about how easy, I mean, yeah, you could argue, oh, but LeBron, he shoots over 50% for his career and blah, blah, blah. Look, when you augment the rules to the point where a guy can basically be a power forward, like he gets to play physical. He gets to be physical in a league that's no longer physical. In a league where players no longer even like contact. You know, like, yeah, like I said, the other day I did a video about Ant saying how much it hurts to dunk. And yeah, I get it, you know, dunking, it hurts your wrist and all that, right? But I'm just not used to hearing guys complain about that openly. Like, that's part of basketball. Even though basketball is considered a non-contact sport, it really is. And, you know, you just hear these guys complain incessantly about things that guys might have griped about in private. You know, that's just whatever. You know, taking the big man out of the middle, you know, so these guys like LeBron could just put their head down, using physicality to basically, and then a lot of times people don't want to get in his way, so it's really no resistance. Whereas with Michael Jordan, there was resistance. And as a jump shooter primarily, although early in his career he did drive the basket, but by the early 90s, more often than not, he was more of a mid-range and then outside shooter. Remember, in the 95, 96, and 96, 97 seasons, Michael Jordan shot 49% and then 48% from mid-range. And that was a huge part of his arsenal. The league average at that time for mid-range shooting was around 41%. So he was just he was one of the great mid-range shooters of all time. Then, of course, it was just so easy for him to get separation between him and the defender. Some of it was his athleticism, but most of it was his basketball IQ. You know, if he would, you know, saying be in the back, if he was backing up in the post, something I always noticed he would do is if a defender was coming over to try to help, like play help defense, he didn't dribble, like he said, like Sam Cassell said, he didn't dribble incessantly. If he see a defender coming, he would pump fake as if he was trying to pass it out. More often than not, the guy bit for the pass. Then Jordan would do a little bump to get a little bit of distance between him and the defender. Not enough for committing offensive power, just a little bit. Bump, go into a shooting motion, fade away. More often than not, bucket. He did the little things to make it seem so easy. I've never seen a guy in that era that made it so easy to score. So when we talk about him being in an era right now where there's really no resistance and you can't be physical, honestly, I've said this before, in his prime, I don't see how he doesn't shoot at least 55% from the floor. I don't see how he doesn't. You know? But Kareem Abdul-Jabbar had the most unstoppable shot in the history of the NBA. And this guy was still scoring big in an era where you had a lot more big men, a lot more quality big men. Like today, one of the great centers, Joel Embiid, Joker, I guess Anthony Davis. Right, that's it. 3 in a 30 league team. You know what I'm saying? 30-team league. When he was playing in the mid 80s, you had himself, you had Patrick Ewing, you had Moses Malone, you had, as far as Artis Gilmore, you had Jack Stigma, you had Bill Laimbeer, you had Hakeem Olajuwon. At times he was matched up against Ralph Sampson. So that's 8 right there. You know, then, you know, you also had, let me think about it. As far as big men is concerned, you had Buck Williams, you had Mark Eaton. You know what I'm saying? So that's 10 in a 23-league team. 23-team, you know what I mean? But anyway, Will Chamberlain, guy averaged 50 points per game. The guy averaged 44 points, 45 points per game this season. Averaged 38 points as a rookie, 38 his second year. I mean, the guy was, and he was doing this against consistent double teams and guys being able to swarm on him and maul. That was the thing that existed back then. He was playing a league where, even though he was extremely strong, the physicality of the 60s was even more so than the 70s and 80s and 90s. And he's still able to put up those numbers. You know what I'm saying? And this is a guy that had to go up against Bill Russell sometimes 16 times a year. 20 times sometimes when you include the playoffs. So, yeah, man, all those guys are in the conversation. Coach Kobe Bryant, man, went against possibly more competition than any other great player. So, yeah, man. LeBron James is great, but nah, he's not on that level when it comes to scoring. I know that sounds weird. What the hell you mean? He scored over 40,000 points. Well, yeah, I mean, he has, but everywhere he's gone, he's never had to adjust. Like, he's never had to adjust to what a coach or adjust to a superstar. Players have to adjust to him. It's always been the system. He's fun, even though people call him this selfless guy, he's actually a very selfish player. Because oftentimes the system gets in the way of teams, gets in the way of other players' growth. So sometimes when you look at it, those points have come at the sacrifice of team success. With the exception of Bronny, what other young player has, well, I can't even say that. I was going to say, with the exception of Bronny, what other young player has had any type of pull or focus in the system and has thrived? But he won't thrive because he sucks. But anyway, that's all I got to say now. Tell me what you guys think.